A pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Little roller up along first. Behind the fence. It's not up there. See you in Pittsburgh. Can't wait. Ah! All the baby is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. Looking, going in the end zone.
You're tuned into Game On with Josh Silverberg and Eric Bowe. Talking all things sports. It's
Game on! Yeah, game on!
Game On, right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Thursday to all of you. It is 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, live on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, joining you every single Thursday. This is Game On. I'm your host, Josh Silverberg. My co-host, of course, Eric Bowe. And on the board, Mr. Speedy Petey. You can check us out. 631-672-3108 is the number to call. WorldwideSportsRadio.com. Also on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all smart speakers, Apple Podcasts. I know Job on the Mouth has a lot of stuff. And they'll be on at 7:30 following us tonight for the next few months, it seems like, going forward. Eric, how are you, man? How's everything going? Happy opening day.
You know what, Josh? I get to wear such an awesome jersey tonight. I'll say thank you to you. I'll move the camera down so we can see which jersey this is.
You're wearing my wedding present.
Yeah, buddy.
Yes. Eric was a groomsman at my wedding. I was not his.
It seems right to wear it.
I was not one of his, but that's okay.
Oh, we're going down that rabbit hole. Yo, what a start.
And which jersey is that, Eric? That is Lou Gehrig?
Number? Hold on, let's see.
But that's Speedy.
Woo! It's even got the on the bottom of it.
Look at that. See, I did good.
Oh, goodness.
That is nice.
What a class act.
Well, listen, somebody's got to be.
It's not me.
Yeah, you said it, not me.
Yeah.
We got a lot to get to. Russell Wilson signing with the New York Giants. Why I still think the Giants are taking Shedeur Sanders, however you say his name, and why I think it would be the greatest QB room for memes of all time. We're going to get to, of course, March Madness, the Sweet 16 happening tonight, all that, but opening day, big deal. I hope the Mets lose opening day, because when the Mets lose opening day, they're so much better because they have the best winning percentage in Major League Baseball history on opening day, and it gets them nowhere. Last year they started 0-5. Oh,
right now. 5 again then? Or was it just opening day?
Listen. They're losing 3-0 right now to the Astros. I didn't think they were going to win the game anyway. Facing Valdez in Houston. The Yankees are up 4-1 going into the top of the 9th, I believe, against the Brewers. So it looks like they're going to win there with Devin Williams going to close it out.
Ooh, isn't that nice? First game of the season.
Against his former team?
Exactly. You get traded.
Instant Devin Williams revenge game?
Oh,
that's what it seems like. But we are also going to get into our baseball predictions tonight and everything like that. So that'll be a lot of fun and everything of that nature. But life is good so far. I I have a chiropractor appointment tomorrow at 6:00, which is annoying.
You do need an adjustment.
This is my arm for about 2 weeks now. It's just gotten so bad to the point of I'm like, I've been using the icy hot constantly, not on my area that Earl did. Using it safely.
Oh God, that's like almost a year ago today.
Using it, yeah. You almost went to the hospital for that. That was. I know
memories.
you're trying to do a bit, but geez, dude. Almost went to the hospital. Why are you in the hospital? Because I rubbed icy hot on my area and everything like that. But we got a great show for you. So obviously, we'll touch on opening day. We'll get to our baseball predictions in a second. But we start, of course. Have to start with the New York Giants. $21 million, 1-year deal. I know Speedy and Eric are celebrating it. It is an amazing deal for the New York Giants. Russie!
Hang on.
Russie is a big blue New York Giant, my friend.
This entire offseason, I thought Russ to the Giants just made the most sense. If he wasn't going back to Pittsburgh, I thought the Giants were the landing spot. I have no issue with that. The issue I have with it is that it's a 1-year, $21 million contract, right? With over 10 plus guaranteed. This is the same GM who didn't want to pay Saquon what he was worth, but you'll give a 1-year deal to Russ?
That's right. Russie.
21?
What did he used to say in Denver?
Let's ride.
Let's ride, baby. Come on, Speedy.
I like the move. I don't like the contract.
Well, listen, we look at it and
it's the same reason you let Saquon go. And you saw what a difference maker he was. That is my biggest issue with it.
Well, you have to look at it in the perspective of the New York Giants. Obviously, Brian Dable and Joe Shane are fighting for their job and everything like that. We know that. And we know they tried for Matt Stafford. Did not happen. I really do believe in everything that's been the rumblings that the Giants are intrigued with Shedeur. And Sanders, if he's possibly there, would be the guy. Now, you would have I'd love to be.
You know why that's interesting, though, Josh? Think of it this way. If Sanders is their guy and they think that Sanders could lead the team, you now have Russell as your bridge. Right? Who's the backup quarterback that they signed for a 2-year deal?
Jameis, baby.
Bingo. So guess what?
I'm just so happy to be here.
Russell goes one and done. Sanders, Ward, a quarterback, whatever. If they do go quarterback, has a year to learn under Russell Wilson. Has Jameis as his backup to kind of learn from as well. Not the worst thing. Right? I think it could be worse if they don't go quarterback because now, after this year, because we know what's going to happen. They're going to win too many games to be able to get an Arch Manning of next year, right? With Russell and Winston there. But you go quarterback this year, makes it a little more interesting of saying, all right, we have our bridge with Russell. We have Winston, who's our backup with the kid this year and next year. Whoever the quarterback if they draft, right? So you're kind of putting in play, all right, here's some concrete foundation that we're trying to do here. Not the worst thing, makes sense. I'm just curious to see if they do go Sanders, if they go Ward, if they go Miller. Who? Let's see who.
Well, I think one team is going to reach on Jackson Dart. Mm-hmm. He will go in the first round. I'm not sure who. Call me crazy. It wouldn't shock me if the Jets did it. Went with him at 7. The Jets like, we need a quarterback. Let's get him in here. It's crazy. I mean, I think it's either going to be for the Jets. I think it's either going to be Campbell at the offensive tackle, or I think it's going to be Tyler Warren, the tight end out of Penn State, who I like a lot. I think Tyler Warren's going to be. I don't know if he's going to be Brock Bowers-esque, but to me, the thing about Tyler Warren is, for me, I when I look at him, I say, "Guy's a good contested catcher. Can block really well." So I think for me, I think that is something that's intriguing. Look, we'll see what happens with this whole thing, but I think if Shedeur is there, he doesn't go to Cleveland, I think the Giants are going to take him. I just have this hunch that that's the guy.
But is that the worst thing with what they did quarterback?
Yes, because I don't think Shador is a first-round quarterback.
I'm not saying Sanders was, but if they go quarterback this year, because
Oh
again,
no, I think they have to. They have no future in that position right now. Period.
you have your bridge, you have your backup quarterback who's going to help them this year and next year with Winston, right? So you kind of have the pieces in place to draft a quarterback this year. I just think they're going to take themselves out of the running for Arch Manning next year, right? They're going to win too many games.
So the thing is why are we all in just? I know he has the last name.
So
why are we all in on him right now when he hasn't even played multiple games? Like, let's see what he does on the field first.
My rebuttal to that is when Texas was having trouble and they couldn't go down the field and they couldn't score, was Ewers the quarterback they went with? No, it was Arch.
Yeah, but who was the one that started But no, when Ewers got hurt, Arch was playing, but then when Ewers got back, what happened? Ewers played. They didn't let Arch was playing well, but they said no. Ewers got to play.
Was Ewers a senior? Was he going to the draft after this year?
Yes, I agree with you 100% on that. But I really do think, in my heart of heart, I think Arch should have been the one playing. But Sarkisian said, "Nah, I think." Or what you do is you draft Shador and you hire Dion as your head coach next year. I think that could go. I mean, my thought process is, why not go that route?
Well, let's see how they do this year, right? Because I mean, neighbors could have close to 2,000 yards this year with Russ. No, true or false?
Of course it can, but what I'm saying is, when I view the way that it's being set up, like I feel like Mara's gonna say, all right, if we draft Shador, my thought process is, and the coaching staff doesn't have a good season this year, which they're going to be gone. Like, does the guy coming in next say, all right, maybe we should hire Dion as the head coach to develop his son? But then you're going to have to deal with the loudmouth of Dion.
But right, and do the Maras want that? Do the Maras want to be?
I mean, they were willing to talk to Aaron Rodgers. I think at this point,
well,
Maras will do whatever. I don't think they care.
But you know what? They had a chance to get Rodgers, I think. And I think there was a reason they kind of passed up on him.
Well, he's going to Pittsburgh. He was in Pittsburgh for 6 hours the other day, which I'm like, can I ask a question? What are you talking about for 6 hours?
Yeah, but you know what? Pittsburgh could have easily.
Like, what ayahuasca did you use? Like, what's the conversation about in Pittsburgh for 6 hours?
A real testament to Tomlin to see if he could have a winning record again with Rodgers as quarterback.
Tomlin has a winning record every season. It's a matter of, can we get past the first weekend?
That's what,
you know what I mean. Like, that's the key component in the whole situation.
If Rodgers is the quarterback there, I don't know. I think that streak could be in jeopardy. No. You don't think so?
Because he's got Pickens and he's got Metcalf. I think as long as, Pittsburgh's offensive line is streaky as it is already.
Oh, Rodgers had Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson last year. Brees Hall.
He still put up decent numbers. They weren't awful. They weren't great, but they were enough to basically say to yourself, all right, at least he could still somewhat play professionally. I don't trust him because I think he's going to get hurt at some point.
Mm-hmm.
That's the issue that it stems from with me. It's, it's where do I think Pittsburgh can go with this whole situation? Why does every game on game day not work? What is this nonsense? There we go. To me, my opinion, I don't know. I think Pittsburgh's going to be the team. They're going to they have the defense. Right? Like, they have the defensive players. You have Pickens and Metcalf both there. I don't know.
Wait, didn't Pickens just get traded? Or
no, he's not in Pittsburgh.
What's his name that got traded?
No, that was a false rumor. That was just some stupid Twitter site that likes the.
Did Najee Harris get signed?
Yeah, Chargers.
That's a nice play, Chargers.
You're right. I thought I saw something about Pickens getting traded or something.
That was a false account.
Okay.
A false.
Speedy.
You went with the rumors like I do. Ah, jeez, you went that route, Eric.
I thought it was with Tennessee or something.
Our specialty nickname for you.
Hey,
I'm just saying. But to me, I think Rodgers is going to go to Pittsburgh. I mean, if Rodgers doesn't go to Pittsburgh, what does Pittsburgh do then? You're going to go Mason Rudolph again? What are you going to do? I could see them trying to trade up for Dart. If they sign Rodgers, they could trade up for Dart. Do they have that first round pick, Pittsburgh? I could see him sitting for a year, Dart, behind Rodgers. Not the worst thing.
that's solid.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with it. To me, I think I don't know. I'm very curious with this whole situation with how Pittsburgh's doing their thing. They're begging on Rodgers, man, and I keep telling people this. If he listens, dude, he's holding people hostage again. This is what he's doing. This is what Rodgers does, man. He's gonna go on the McAfee show every week. You think Tomlin's gonna love that? By the way, the Rooneys are gonna love that. No, but he's gonna do it anyway.
Yep.
So in the end, it doesn't matter. But going back to the Russell Wilson thing, I don't know what is going on there. We have a rock show happening, Speedy. Oh, you see, that's what it was.
But think about it. They're in position after signing Russ and signing Winston to take a quarterback at 3. Have him learn under Russ for a year, and then have Winston to help guide him too. You just hope Winston guides him in throwing the ball to his team and not the other team.
I mean, isn't that easier said than done, though, with Jameis?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, how much are you really losing out if, say Russ gets benched or hurt, and you hope not hurt, obviously.
We don't wish injuries on people.
And Winston has to play. Like, how much are you losing from there? I mean, you're still going to have him as the slinger. He's going to be up, obviously.
Like I said, the part to me that just doesn't make any sense is why they gave him the $10 million when they could have just brought Saquon back. That's a part where I'm just like, why?
That was my initial reaction to you, right?
Like why? Like why? I don't understand. Like your job is you had you're literally your best offensive player, right? Like your guy, like your best offensive player, and then it's like, no, you know what I mean? I don't know. This doesn't make sense to me.
Just does not make sense.
You want to add anything else on the New York Giants, Eric, before we go on to the next topic about March Madness?
You know what? Let's add.
You got royally screwed.
Who? The Johnnies?
No, they didn't get screwed. They just sucked.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin got screwed.
You know what? Please do go on.
Go on to the next topic?
No, please do go on of how the Johnnies got.
No, the Giants St. John's just sucked.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Calipari, Patino.
Oh, they just won. And then did you see what St. John's just did? They got one of the top transfer guys already in the portal from Arizona State, who's a good shooter, right, Speedy? They just picked him up. So clearly Patino knows what I need, and the hope is they could keep R.J. Lewis there. I'm just wondering if Lewis will stay there now. It was kind of a sour ending considering of how bad he was in this game. I mean, he was, 3 for 17? It was awful. He couldn't shoot. Could not shoot the ball in that game. It was I don't know. To me, it was a very odd culmination of that game. It was an aggressive game, but this was the worry about St. John's, right? Like we worried about St. John's in the beginning because we said with St. John's, they play this aggressive style, but you're not getting those Big East refs anymore. You're getting an ACC, an SEC, a Pac-12, whatever it is that they're not used to the officiating in this conference. But now you get it, and it's an aggressive bunch. And to me, I thought that was it did them in because here's the problem: like they lost. Oh, what was it? They lost in the foul trouble early on. One of the guards. I can't remember his name. Speedy might remember his name. He fouled her out early.
Yeah. Second leading scorer. I know.
Did you turn your mic on, Speedy? I don't think anybody heard you. No, he didn't turn his mic on. Jeez. Second leading scorer. He couldn't stay and everything like that. Yep. Nope. He fouled out early. But they hit 2 threes the whole game.
Well, and then Pitino was even asked, crunch time. How come you didn't play? Again, I'm drawing a blank on the name too. How come you didn't play? Right? And he was like, he played a lot of minutes.
Yeah, no, but it was Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
But the problem was Lewis couldn't shoot, and the problem is St. John's hit 2 threes the whole game.
Right.
Which is you're not going to win that way. Like you're just not going to win a game that way. Period. In this, and that was why when I picked St. John's to win, but I said I still have my doubts a little bit. But I said they're kind of on the easier bracket side because I still don't trust Florida. I mean, we'll get to the Danny Hurley stuff in a minute. I mean, that was insane, and Hurley already apologized for it.
Emotion.
Danny Hurley's animated himself out there, so I don't know. To me, I view the whole situation as it was just a messy game, and from like if they could have shot 10% better St. John's, which is not that much, they would have blown the doors off of Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't shoot.
Nope.
They had the bigger size team. They couldn't rebound. And that to me was, I'm saying to myself, I don't even understand the whole situation here of why is this such like I knew they were a terrible 3-point shooting team, right? We all knew that. Speedy knew that. We talked about it, Eric, on the show last week. They were less in the conference in 3-point shooting, but 2 for 23 from 3. That is abysmal to the point of how is anybody and how far, even if they beat Arkansas, how far could they have gone with this? There was no way. But clearly they got the kid from Arizona State now in the transfer portal. He's one of the top recruits.
Just think, Josh, think about it. They make 5 more threes, they win that game.
Of course, but again, at least Pitino now said, okay, I need more shooting. He goes out and he gets one of the best shooters in the country this past year, who shot, I think, 38% from 3? I mean, at least I hope Lewis stays with the team. I'm not sure he's going to. I'm not sure Lewis will stay with the team now. I'm of the notion of I think he is going to leave because it was a sour ending with him. But to me, I don't know. I'm just like I pick my hands up and I say to myself, I go, boy, this is what did St. John's in. This whole thing did them in because this was their team in a nutshell. Great defensively, great rebounding. And they had the bigger team than Arkansas, but they couldn't rebound the basketball.
Nope.
It made no sense. And I kept saying to myself, I'm like, why are they having a tough time rebounding the basketball? It just didn't make any sense to me. I didn't get it. It was just Lewis, their best player. I think he was first team all Big East, obviously. Was he first team also for the NCAA as well?
I thought so.
I thought he was too.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, I'm like, this is atrocious. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though. You I think hit the nail on the head. They were 2 for what? Shooting threes, right? They lost by.
That might be. I might have foolbarred that number, but I think they only made 2 threes the whole game.
That's an issue. That's the biggest thing right there, right? You're getting outscored right there. That's how many possessions come and go at no points, and you lost by what, 6, if that?
Yeah, I mean it was.
You don't shoot the ball well. Guess what? It's hard to beat anybody in the tournament. The hot team that gets hottest, look at Wisconsin. Same thing.
Buddy, you're so annoying with that.
Right? Look at Duke.
Annoying.
Look at Duke. Duke was able to shoot the ball. Did well. Moved on.
Why do you have to make Wisconsin? First off, I thought Wisconsin was dead as a doornail, down by 10 with 6 minutes to go. And they almost won that freaking game. I hated the. I wanted. All right, now we're getting to Wisconsin. All right. You're triggered.
That's my transition right there.
It literally to the point of I hated the play call, right? Because who's the best player on Wisconsin? Speed, you know who it is. Who is it?
Yep.
What's his name? Really, Speedy? Don't remember his name?
What is it, Josh?
Tanjay, Speedy.
Sorry, I got distracted.
No, of course. It was John Tonje was in there, and he drove to the rim to try to tie the game when I wanted him to shoot a dagger 3 because everybody and their mother knew he was going to shoot, and the Yankees went opening day. Look at that, 4-2. Boy, that got hairy at the end, huh?
Hey, we're gonna get into it, okay?
That
I
got
got distracted
nothing.
by Nathan texting that.
No, that got hairy at the end.
Did you see that? He starts talking Wisconsin. We're giving him a chance to talk Wisconsin. Oh, the Yankees win.
I mean, but yeah, I'm giving props to the Yankees. They won the game. I didn't. I mean, good job getting Churios to strike out, but second and third and one out. Williams had a rough ninth
And
inning.
Yelich.
He won, and Yelich, yeah. I mean, the Churio one was the big one, but to me, when I look at the situation that Wisconsin was in, the fact that they even made the game even that close is incredible. I knew it was going to be a tough game because the thing is, BYU is one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country. They take the most 3 points of. They take more 3-pointers than 2-pointers, more than any team in the country. And the game was essentially it was a home game, so it was essentially a home game for BYU because it's right next to Utah. They were in Colorado. So to me, I said to myself, I'm like, okay, so this is the route they're going to go. But I mean, Tonje, they struggled mightily in the beginning, Wisconsin. They could not hit anything. They couldn't play defense, period. Amos was lost. Crowd was doing his thing. Winter was so. But, you know, I mean, they were down 10 with 6 minutes to go, and they almost won the freaking game, which is miraculous in itself. I mean, what are you going to do? This is what Greg Gard does. He doesn't get teams out of the first weekend. The problem is that they don't have the nil money, Wisconsin, because they put the nil money into the football team. They don't put it into the basketball team. So every year, this is what Greg Gard has to do. He has to find scraps. And he has to do within the straits of Minnesota, Wisconsin, like the Midwest. That's the only way he can recruit guys.
So do you like their chances next year? Do you like them improving the team at all?
I think losing Tonje is a killer. Tonje was the best transfer recruit of the country. Would you agree, Speedy? He was the best transfer recruit any team got this whole season from anywhere. I don't think you're going to get that next year. You're losing Crowell. He's a senior. It's going to be tough. I mean, you have Blackwell. Blackwell's a really good player, but the problem is he's only like 6'1", so he's very small. So it's tough when he drives to the rim. It's really difficult. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a player that could surprise me with Wisconsin. I'm not sure, but
would you root for Lewis from St. John's to go to Wisconsin? Would you hope for that?
Okay, he won't fit there. He won't go there. I mean, they got Storr 2 years ago, which that came out of left field, but Storr didn't fit the team for Wisconsin anyway. They don't have the nil money because again, they put their entire funding. I mean, for the women's basketball team, they literally just fired their coach, and they hired a coach who came from Missouri. That I think she had like a 9-27 career record, and they just hired her for the women's basketball team. Like that's what they just did. They put all their money into the football team. Josh, they don't put any assets into the basketball team.
I feel bad talking about
scraps and everything like that.
I feel bad talking about all this losing. What about some winning? Right? Do we still like Duke and the rest of the field right now?
Yeah, as long as Flagg is healthy.
The show, like, are they this year's team to beat?
I think so. As long as Flagg is healthy. I know some people may like Florida still. I am not that big on Florida. I'm a little worried about them actually. They're not playing great.
I think Speedy likes Florida.
No, Speedy likes Gonzaga
and Auburn.
I have Maryland over them.
You like Gonzaga though.
I did. They fell into the same syndrome St. John's did, allowing too many offensive rebounds.
And we all knew they were going to lose Houston.
Now that we're down to the Sweet 16, who are you taking?
I can't. I have a show later. I cannot.
He has a show later. He cannot say.
My
Close.
remaining 3 Final Four teams are still left.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
not up to share. He can't share information anymore.
I would have just bragged
Right.
about Gonzaga. But
He can't share until July. He can't share anymore. He's not allowed to. He's out.
All right, let's just say
Now.
my tournament champ is still alive.
Oh, what? Duke.
From the start, from when the
Yeah,
season,
as long as the Flag is healthy and he's fine, they're gonna win the whole thing. There's no reason why they shouldn't.
who'd you
I
take?
mean, their bracket is very simple, not hard. I mean, I don't think Alabama's all that. I mean, honestly, Auburn has been abysmal too. They were coming into the tournament struggling anyway, and this is the big knock always on Bruce Pearl: is why do Bruce Pearl teams always struggle going into tournaments every year? That's always now. Pearl will get you into the top 5, top 10. Did it with Tennessee, but Illinois too, right? He did it with Illinois also. But to me, the problem is, first off, can I just one thing about March Madness? It's been horrible this year. It is so boring and bland. Like there's nothing. Like, there's like maybe been like 2 exciting games this year.
McNeese.
Yeah, McNeese State, man. They're out.
Cinderella story.
Purdue ruined that.
You're right. Who is this year's Cinderella story? There really
There is none, and there's been no close games.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's boring. It's been very boring and bland. The games have mostly been blowouts. There's nothing been exciting about it. There's no gripping last minute stuff we've seen. So to me, I find it, just a very boring, basic tournament that's not been exciting in any sort of fashion. I mean, you want to do the 16-16 game? I don't really count that. The first 4, whatever they call that crap, the first 4. I mean, you could say that that's exciting, but to me, I don't think it is. The Wisconsin BYU game was somewhat exciting at the end. I don't know. I haven't really seen any sort of excitement from anywhere.
Right. No game-winning threes. No game-winning.
No, nothing. There's no buzzer beaters this year.
Yet, Josh. Yet.
I mean, what are we waiting on?
Yet. We're in the Sweet 16. Lots going to happen from now until the finals.
Well,
All
we'll
right.
see. I don't know.
Just get ready, okay? You buckle up. It's going to be a fun ride to the end of the show here.
Well, like I said, we'll see what happens. And this takes us to our 6:30 mark, which means it is now time for our MLB baseball season predictions.
Look at you with the transitions. Nice. Okay.
Well, time 6:30.
Wow. All right. So you just touched upon it before. Yankees win. A 4-2 final.
Yeah.
Right? Devin Williams. You said got a little dicey there in the 9th.
Hey, that strikeout on Churio was fantastic.
What do you mean? What happened?
I don't know. It was literally, I think he walked the first guy, and then just like every inning was like every batter was iffy. But he got through it. Like I said, he was able to get through it. I think Williams will be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's day 1 with him. Just debut with the Yankees. So I would not be even remotely concerned about him, period. I wouldn't. I think it's an okay situation for them. I mean, if he does struggle at some point, you have Luke Weaver. So
based on that, you said opening day jitters, first game with a new team.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way with Clay Holmes today?
I thought Clay Holmes was a mixed bag. It was a mixed bag. He got strikeouts. He allowed 2 earned runs, gave up a couple of hits. I think he had 4 walks, but he had 5 strikeouts, 5 or 6 strikeouts. So he got through 4 2/3. I thought he was going to get bombed today, personally, against Houston in Houston, but he kept his team in it. Framber Valdez was really good. He's one of the better pitchers in baseball, so not a surprise there. That doesn't shock me the least bit. To me, I think it's a long season. It's a very long season. I mean, baseball is the longest sport out there. April to September.
Definitely a marathon.
6 months of this. Things change. They go up and down. Teams have winning streaks. Teams have injuries. Teams go on a slump. You get the hot hand at some point or later in the year, which is a big thing. So I don't know. Like I said, you see what happens and everything of that nature. The Mets just had bases loaded, 2 out, and it seems like Nimmo, I think, just flew out. So the inning looks to be over. So we're going to go to the bottom 8. The Mets down 3-0 in Houston. Look, I thought the Mets were going to get killed today. I thought they were going to get crushed.
That's your prediction. I want to hear your predictions of division winners and wild card. So you know what?
Yeah.
Why don't we start your division, Josh? NL East predictions.
The National League East is fascinating. Thank you, Speedy, for the music. I love that. National League East is fascinating. You got a 3-team race. You got the Braves, the Phillies, and the Mets. I would still. It's so interesting. I'm going to take the Braves as the National League East winner because I do think, my opinion, Sale is still going to be good. They're going to get Acuna back probably in May. And they still have Riley. They still have Olsen. They still have other guys, Harris there. They still have a pretty good bullpen. The rotation's not bad. Schwellenbach is still is a really good pickup piece for them that they've developed. So for me, I'm taking the Atlanta Braves as the National League East division winner to start.
Josh, I think it's definitely one of those 3 teams you had mentioned. No doubt in my mind. It's definitely not the Marlins, no offense. However, I do not think it's the Braves, right?
Okay.
And don't get me wrong, I think the Braves are going to be very good this year. Don't forget, Josh, they lost Max Fried to the Yankees, obviously. But who's coming back? Spencer Strider. Right?
When is he coming back? Do we have an idea of when he's coming back yet?
He pitched some spring training games, got some innings in. I think he's just getting built up and making sure he's okay. So that's going to be an interesting. He could be a big difference maker.
Right now, the Braves over/under win is 93.5.
I like that. That's a good number right there.
93.5.
That's a fair number.
So but you don't like the Braves though.
I like the Phillies.
Phillies are at 90.5 wins over/under.
If I'm going to have to go over if they're going to beat the Braves. Although I don't like it. I think the Braves kind of hit the under, and I think Philly's kind of right there. I really think the Phillies' offense is going to take another step forward this year, right? I think the pitching has been better of late of what it was. Wheeler, Nola. I think Luzardo is going to surprise a lot of people and actually have a good campaign with Philly this year. I think he's going to be kind of one of those under the radar.
Well, the Phillies are already off to a good start. Their bullpen already blew it day one.
That's going to be their biggest factor. And you know what? I think come trade deadline, they get it right. They're gonna add some bullpen help and really help push him. But
he looked good in his first debut with the Phillies. Jordan Romano giving up 2 runs. They haven't been able to find a closer since Brad Lidge.
Correct.
Brad Lidge. They haven't been able to find a closer.
Correct. And you know what, though? Like I said, I think they're going to realize that, and they're going to see that by the trade deadline. They're going to upgrade that, and then watch out. They're going to be the team to beat. The Braves, the Phillies, the Mets, it's going to be a 3-horse race. Yeah. It's going to go back and forth between all 3. All 3, I'm sure, to one point or another, will lead the division. Right? And probably for a good amount of time each time. But I think when it's all said and done, give me the Phils.
All right, National League Central. I think you and I probably would be unison on this. The Cubs 86.5. I think getting Kyle Tucker, adding that, I think is a big piece for them. He's gonna struggle in the beginning. We know that, but the weather, like you've said in the past, it's gonna be tough for him to get that figured out. But they still have good starting pitching. I like the Ryan Presley trade as well. I think that was a good one for them to help solidify the bullpen. I think Houston is going to miss Presley. So I like the Cubs. The National League Central is so bad. So bad. It's horrible. I mean, the Pirates, they have the pitching, but now that Joyce is hurt, he's hurt. You're going to rely on Skeens for everything. And, to me, I think the Cardinals are in a rebuild process, although they don't realize it, they are. The Reds are transitioning with Terry Francona. I just don't think they're there just yet. And the Brewers are same thing. They had a very good season last year. I was still they losing Adames, didn't replace him. We'll see about the starting pitching if it still lives up to its hype. And losing Devin Williams though is a big loss. So we'll see. I think it's the Cubs division, 86.5.
I agree with the Cubs. And I think you're right too with the Reds. Like I think the Reds are going to be a sneaky good team, right? Like I think they're going to push the Cubbies to the end, but I don't think this is that year. I think next year, the year after, could be a really big year. I kind of thought last year the Reds should have been better than what they were, and they kind of tailed off. But the additions of Tucker, Presley at the back end of the pen with Porter Hodge, that's a solid 1-2 right there. Setup man and closer, obviously. I think they have enough offensive power. Again, you had Tucker, easily a 20-20, a 30-20 kind of guy, right? Swanson can hit still. You lost Bellinger, but I think they have what it takes to
replace Bellinger with Tucker. It's an upgrade.
Exactly.
It's a massive upgrade.
So, you know what? Under the radar, watch Pete Crow Armstrong. I think could have a very impactful year. I'm not going to say he's going to have a great year, but I'll say impactful year, right? You bring the speed, a different element for the Cubbies that he's on base. You got to watch out for him to swipe 2 bases in a row. Probably one of the fastest guys in that division. Ellie De La Cruz might argue with me on that, but that's gonna be a fun one.
I mean, the killer is now Alexis Diaz is on the IL now to start the season as well. So
correct. Let's move on to the West, Josh.
Yes, sir. Let's get to the West. I mean, it's easy. Dodgers take that one. Their win total is 105.5. That's a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're both in unison on that one.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll move on to the 3 wild card teams who we think in the wild card can do it. I'm going to go for my 3 wild card teams. I'm going to say the Phillies, no particular order. I'm going to say the Mets, and I'm going to say the Diamondbacks. I'm going to say the Phillies because they have the lineup. They still have the lineup, and they have the starting pitching. We know what they can do with Noel. Getting Luzardo was a big get for them. The bullpen still worries me very much. To me, I want to see how they can handle that without a closer still. The Diamondbacks had a fantastic offseason. I mean, they don't get enough talked about, replacing Christian Walker with Josh Naylor, and then also get Corbin Burns, I think was a fantastic upgrade for them as well. You get him as your ace to anchor with Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, they hopefully can come back to what he was. Eduardo Rodriguez is your 4th starter. I think that's huge. I think that's a great rotation. Their bullpen will be interesting. They have a very good lineup. I think Corbin Carroll's going to have he'll come back this year and be better. You obviously have one of the better players in the league. Doesn't get talked about enough in Ketel Marte. I like them, and then the Mets. I know people are worried about the starting pitching, but people were worried about the starting pitching last year as well. I'm going to trust the pitching lab that the Mets have. I'm going to trust Jeremy Hefner and Carlos Mendoza. They still have David Peterson. You got Kodai Senga back. Manai's only missing about 2 or 3 starts to start the season, so it's not awful about how much he's missing. The lineup, they have a great lineup with Lindor and Soto and Alonso and Vientos and Nimmo. And, they have a very good lineup, albeit they're not scoring today. They've gotten a lot of hits today. They're just not scoring the runs. They've left a lot of guys on base. They have a really good lineup. I like their bullpen, adding A.J. Minter. So I think the Mets, and I think the odd team out is the San Diego Padres. I think obviously the ownership situation was a problem. It's been a problem. I think it kind of finally got solidified, but too little, too late, I think. And I think if the Padres are a little out of it in June, July, you'll see Michael King traded, Dylan Cease traded. I think they'll send those guys off because they're paying Machado and Tatis long term. So I think the Phillies, the Mets, and the Diamondbacks are the 3 wild card teams for me.
I think you nailed it on 2 out of the 3 there. Right? Let's see. You said Diamondbacks, Mets,
Phillies.
and the Phillies. Who do you think I'm going to tell you is the odd man out?
You can say the Mets.
I will not say the Mets, actually.
Say the Diamondbacks.
I'm going to say the Diamondbacks. And you know who I'm going to switch the Diamondbacks with?
Padres.
NL Central team. The Reds. Listen, I don't
Hey,
think
wow. You're buying in a Tito.
but guess what?
Hey.
We've seen what Terry Francona can do to a team when he comes back, right? He helps them out. They just win ball games under Tito, right? It's almost like the Bruce Bochy effect. I think they get hot at the right time. The pitching staff keeps them afloat enough. The offense, Ellie De La Cruz, Spencer Steer.
I think what will help them is being in the Central, whereas the Diamondbacks would have to play the Dodgers and the Padres X amount of times. And the Giants, too, to an extent. The Giants are competitive,
Exactly. I think they have a better shot of sneaking in. Kind of one of those, it's going to come down to game 162, like we always see. Magic number and all the stuff that has to happen. And I'm feeling the Reds. Let's go, Reds.
All right. He's feeling the Reds, Speedy. He's feeling those Cincinnati Reds. The big red machine, maybe. American League East. Interesting, right? Because you have the Yankees defending American League champs, but then you also have a lot of people picking on the Baltimore Orioles and a lot of people loving the Boston Red Sox. Eric, I'll start with you first. This is your division. Who do you like in this one and why?
Listen, the Rays are going to be competitive.
Yeah, well, they always are, but they're not, yeah.
Blue
Jays will not.
will not. And I think you're going to see Vladdy go. I think you're going to see Bichette go.
Yep.
And no. Boston has some sneaky good pitching there, right? Walker.
I don't know about anymore, but Crochet and Houck.
Yeah. Walker Buehler there, I think is really going to help him out. Brian Bayo.
Brian Bayo. Not to mention they have one of the best farm systems in baseball with guys coming up.
You could have a well-rested Devers who could be now the full-time DH.
Yep.
Right?
He'll be the fourth. Yep.
You added Bregman to that lineup. Jaron Duran. Duran gets on. Bregman hits him over. Devers hits him in. Right? I mean, recipe for success right there. Their bullpen is still and scares me. I mean, you have Chapman closing it out with possibly Liam Hendrickson, right?
Chapman's the closer right now, they said. Corey said he's the closer. Hendricks was awful in spring training. He was not good.
You would imagine he would be your setup man, right?
You'd like to, but he was so bad in spring training that I think they're actually legitimately concerned about it.
That's my concern with them. The Orioles, my concern is the pitching staff. Zach Eflin is your ace at the moment. Grayson Rodriguez coming back from injury, fighting that off. That's going to be tough, right? I don't know if they have the pitching enough. They have the back end of the bullpen back with Batista and Cano, right? They're going to be solid in the bullpen. We know their offense. Their offense, Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rushman, right? Jordan Westberg. They've got some guys there, obviously. They lost Santander. I think they're going to miss some of that power. O'Neill will be nice, but I don't think O'Neill's going to have the same power aspect that Santander had with them for last year. So, to me, they're going to be your number 2. And I think the Yankees still have enough pitching and offensive power to win the division. I think it's going to be a lot closer now than initial thoughts, with obviously Cole out for the year. And same thing, Clark will come back. Luis Hale will come back. I think Will Warren will hold it down enough. Stroman, you know what you're going to get with him. So I think they're kind of a different dynamic team this year. And I think they're better fundamentally, which is going to help them out tremendously. Give me the Yankees.
Yeah.
Answer.
I like the Yankees, too, in this division. I do. I think they'll come back. I still think they have the start, but I know they're losing Garrett. By the way, Mike Trout, his first pitch he sees as a hitter this year gets hit in the hand. So, can't make it up, man. In regards to the, I think the Red Sox and the Orioles are both going to be wild card teams.
Well, we're gonna get okay.
No. We'll get to that. But I'm placing the flag on that now. And in the sense of, I think the Yankees will be just fine. There's going to be peaks and valleys with them. Obviously, the injuries happen. Garrett Cole's out for the year. You're hoping the starting pitching is enough. Heals out till probably July. Is Schmidt hurt too? Schmidt's hurt also. So you're just trying to stay afloat. You're just trying to stay afloat at this point with them. I think Williams will be fine. I know people are stressing it. They're going to stress out Monday morning QB. They're going to stress out about it tomorrow. Oh, God, did what happened against the Mets last year ruin Devin Williams? Everybody needs to relax. It was his first day in the regular season as a Yankee. Calm down. I think Luke Weaver will be fine. The bullpen is good. The lineup will be fine. I still have questions with some of the lineup. But I think the Yankees will be the team that wins the American League East. AL Central is fascinating because whoever beats the White Sox the most wins. That's why so many teams from the American League Central get into the playoffs, because you get to play the White Sox a billion times.
All right, so Josh, yes or no? Guardians.
Who are the Indians? Who are they?
The team formerly known as the Cleveland Indians, the Cleveland Guardians. Do they win the division?
It's interesting. I can't pick Minnesota because I think Minnesota actually has the most talent, but the problem with Minnesota is they have so many injuries now. Royce Lewis, he gets hurt already, so it's like Byron Buxton's going to get hurt at some point. We know this. Kansas City's fascinating. You have to bank on Lugo having what he did last year again. And I don't know if it's possible. Like, I don't know. Call me crazy. Like, I think the American League Central is the toughest division. To me, personally, I think a team that's going to take the next leap, and I wish they did more in the offseason. I do. I think they needed another hitter, is the Detroit Tigers. I wish they signed Jack Flaherty, but they didn't help their lineup, which I think they needed to do. They didn't.
Torres?
They got Gleyber Torres, but I don't think it was enough. I think they needed to get Bregman. I think they really needed to get Alex Bregman, and they didn't do it. And I think that was the killer. So for me, I think the Tigers are winning the division. Right now, the Tigers are at 83.5. I think the team with the most out of that division right now that will come away with the most wins is the Twins at 84.5 is what they have it at. So, but I'm going to go with the Tigers.
You know what? I think you hit
cool ball, man.
Minnesota has Pablo Lopez, right? He had
a bad year last year.
Bailey Ober, like they have a solid rotation. The back end of the bullpen is Duran.
And I like Baldelli, by the way. I like Baldelli as a manager. I just think he gets pushed with bad luck. That's the issue.
Griffin Jacks and that, bullpen is what, like, they're a solid team. I don't think they have the hitting, and I think that's what's going to really hurt them.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? Then you move on to the Guardians. The Guardians lost one of their biggest power threats, right? Losing Josh Naylor. You replace him with a Carlos Santana, who, don't get me wrong, will be fine, but do we think he's going to produce the same that Naylor did? No. Right? Yeah, they have Big Christmas. Yeah, they traded for Nolan Jones.
Christmas.
They traded for Nolan Jones, so you'll see some nice platoon that way. I don't see their offense enough doing what they should be doing. Kansas City, that's an interesting one because you know what? You know who I think is going to challenge Judge and could possibly beat Judge for the MVP this year?
Bobby Witt Jr.
Bobby Witt Jr. I think you're going to see a 30-30 year out of him, if not more. I wouldn't be surprised if it's closer to 40-40. I think he's going to have a phenomenal year, right? But after Witt, who's there? Who scares you, right? Who's going to be that other big bopper? I think Vinny Pasquantino can have a great.
You love Pasquantino so much, and it's like you don't see all the hype with him.
I love them as a prospect.
15 to 20 home runs and 230. Like, what is the hype about him?
think he's going to take a bigger leap this year.
They better hope for their sake he does.
But that's the thing. After him, who else? Is it going to be Sal Perez?
I trust Perez.
Okay. Is it going to be Melendez? MJ Melendez? You know what I mean? So
I think it's going to come out of the starting pitching is Reagan's, Lugo, and Walker going to give you what they gave you last year.
See, now that's the thing. Reagan's is going to be a Cy Young candidate this year.
Yes.
Right? Lugo, if Lugo gets you double-digit wins, watch out. Same thing with Waka, right? They got the taste of the playoffs. They got the atmosphere that way. They're going to be a very tough team, right? Then you move on to the Tigers. The Tigers, Scooble, Jackson Jobe, right? They've got they got some pitchers there. They got some guys. Back into the bullpen scares me a little bit, right? And the hitting scares me a little bit. So to me, it's a toss-up between Kansas City and Detroit. And if I have to go,
forget it. Whoever beats the White Sox the most.
And if I have to go with one way or the other, give me Kansas City in this one.
Okay. Last division, the American League West. Is it Mariners? Can the Mariners take the next step? Will Rodriguez bounce back? Are the Rangers going to have a bounce back after last year with all the injuries they had? Are the Astros still competitive doing the trade for Tucker and everything like that? I'm so on the fence with this one because I just don't know which way to go. Because I feel like Jacob deGrom is the X factor in this whole thing with the Rangers.
Yeah.
But then you have Houston, who still has Fromber. They have Brown leading the rotation. They still have a nice lineup with Alvarez and Altuve, and they got Paredes and Yanni Diaz. Cam Smith is up on the team now. I'm going to stick with the Astros to win this division, and they got Christian Walker in the offseason, which was a nice get. I'll stick with Houston in this one. Still have Jeremy Pena. Still have a nice lineup. I like the rotation still. The bullpen scares me a little bit still, but I'm going to go with the Astros in this one.
You know what I think is my biggest X factor in the AL West?
What?
If this guy stays healthy for, I won't say full year, but majority of the year,
Can I guess?
This is the team that can win the division. I just have faith. Go for it.
Yes.
Yes.
Corey Seager.
Wrong player, right team.
Ah! We're so close.
You know him very well, we'll say, Josh.
Jacob deGrom.
Yes.
I said that already. I just said that.
Biggest X factor, yes, is deGrom, right? If you get deGrom healthy for a full season, you know what you're going to get with Evaldi. They could be a solid team right there and really push the Astros. They've been a thorn in the Astros side for a couple of years now. You add deGrom back into it, and then you add maybe a resurgence year after a down year last year with Adolis Garcia, Seager, Semien. Again, that's a team when healthy and when clicking is just going to outmash you.
Yeah, I agree.
So if they're able to do that, I like their chances. However, I don't see deGrom pitching as much as you need him to.
Of course.
Right? And again, I hope I'm wrong with that. I really do. Because of that, I think Houston takes it. Houston's kind of that line of consistency there, right? I think Texas is going to have some good ebbs and flows. I just think Houston's going to be too much, right? You can't forget at the end of that Houston bullpen could go 2+ innings. Josh Hader, right? Still one of the best closers in the game right now.
Yeah, Hader has been so iffy the last 2 years.
He's filthy still.
And let's do the 3 wild card teams.
Wow.
For me, I already said 2 of them. I have Red Sox. I have Orioles. I like both there. I like the Red Sox. Very good offseason. Love the starting pitching. I think the bullpen, to me, still iffy, but I like their lineup now as well. The Orioles, as long as they stay healthy, they're totally fine. And to me, the last wild card team, I will give. I want to give it to an AL Central team because I feel like they're playing so many of the crappy teams. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I will give the last wild card spot. I'll give it to the Texas Rangers, though.
Ooh.
I'll give it to the Rangers. I still think they'll get there as long as they stay healthy and everything is good and everything is fine. As long as they stay healthy, to me, I think that's the route to go. Oh, the Mets lost. Soto struck out to end the game. Oh, darn.
What a way to start the year.
What a way to start his tenure.
You know,
They lost 3-1. All right.
Again, I can't disagree with that take. I can't disagree with Texas, but I have to, right? Like I think the Red Sox, I think the Orioles, they'll be fine. They'll get in, but I don't know. I can't pick Texas because they're in the AL West, right? A lot of games with Houston, a lot of games with the Mariners, a lot of games against just some good ball clubs there. Same thing with the Central, but you know what? The Tigers, I can't look away from them. I'm taking the Tigers as that last wild card spot, Josh.
No, I agree. That's fair.
Scooble, lead the way. Now, Josh, this is an important part here now.
I'm listening.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Is Speedy ready for this? I'm going to take that as a yes. We have short time. You know what time it is?
What time is it?
Let's just say if you're not paying attention, you better.
I am. I'm waiting for you to say it.
Come on, Josh. You're better than that. It's time for You're Better Than That, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, look at that. See?
Probably one of my favorite parts of the show, other than maybe picking on Josh sometimes. But you're better than that. Who we starting off with, Josh? You want to take the reins? You want to pass it to me?
You could take it if you want. Go for it, man.
I'm going to take it. You know what? We didn't really touch upon the sport tonight, and I feel like I'm probably a broken record with it, but I'm going back with the NBA and the injury reporting. All right. There's got to be something has to give. You got all these guys this late in the season. He's questionable. He's going to be out for 3 weeks, but we're going to list him as questionable or doubtful. You know he's out for weeks at a time.
Yep.
What are you doing there?
The NHL does the same thing.
Why? NHL, I'll throw you in there too. You know a guy is missing multiple weeks. The next time the game comes up, doubtful, questionable. It makes no sense to me. If he's out, he's out, right? There needs to be, like baseball does it, 7-day IL. He's going to be on the IL. Make an IL for the team. Make an IL. It just makes sense. Come on. You're better than that.
You're better than that is quite simply the fact that ESPN, again, not renewing with Major League Baseball and the coverage pretty much being gone from their network period is a disgrace because we all remember we used to love Baseball Tonight on Sunday nights right before Sunday Night Baseball. That's gone. It's over. It's done. And because they put all their money into the NFL and to the NBA and college football. And to me, I just don't think it's fair. So, to me, I think ESPN, you're way better than that, but I'm not even sure anymore if you are. Check us out at worldwidesportsradio.com, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, all different platforms of social media.
And if you're on there, give us a like, give us a follow, leave us a comment. We'll read the comments.
We always love to read the comments, of course, and everything of that nature. Of course, Job and them out. They're coming on next. They'll be on at 7:30, so that should be fun. I don't know what that bang was. That could be the bang for the show to begin, and everything like that. But great show tonight, Eric. Congrats on the Yankees win today.
Hey, thank you.
No problem. Be a good baseball season, I think. Hopefully,
like you wanted.
What happened?
Congrats on the Mets loss, like you wanted.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted. Wanted that loss, man. Every year I tell you, but great show tonight. Had a lot of fun. Enjoy your sports this weekend, everybody. Don't forget, Check all the great shows. Job in the Mouth, of course, on Mondays and Thursdays now at 7:30. Of course, the Weekend Crunch on 103.9 FM, the LI News Radio Network, with Speedy and Errol at 7 o'clock on Saturday nights. And, of course, Snowman in the morning. Check him out as well. Have a good night, everybody. Take care. Enjoy your weekend. Go Sports!
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.